So a societal change needs to happen, and it needs to happen very quickly.
I'm the librarian, and I came to read.
So as a lot of you guys know, over Christmas and New Year's and shit, I made sure to record or pre-record some things for you guys to watch while I was out of town. But while I was on my trip, it was just so much bullshit that just kept popping up, like really shitty news. It was pretty disheartening. So I decided to make another video talking specifically about that. I mean, there's so much shit going on. I mean, we have this Surviving R. Kelly thing that's gonna premiere tonight. And it's a 3-night event. And I'm just like, how many heinous things could you have done for a lifetime to have to dedicate 3 fucking nights to this shit, And also that, I don't know if you saw that video, that man who grabbed a black woman employee at McDonald's in St. Petersburg, and she had to defend herself, and employees around her, her co-workers wouldn't even like beat this man up for her. Like they were trying to pull her off of him instead of pulling him. Like I was just like, what are y'all doing? And then Jasmine Barnes, this to me was so heartbreaking. She was shot and she was only 7 years old. She She lost her life. They think the suspect is a white man with a beard in his fucking 40s. He had a red pickup truck. Wow, are we fucking surprised? Are we surprised? And here's why I say that societal reform, societal change needs to happen very quickly. Because, and I don't want anyone to think that, I think that all because Trump came out that these things are just, oh my God, they're just being fabricated out of nowhere and it's all due to Trump. No, but what I will say is that Trump's rhetoric and the people that he surrounds himself with and the people that he puts in positions of power, they are allowing people who already had these sentiments, they're allowing them to feel emboldened to do whatever the hell they want to do. And of course, because of the way that minorities are being spoken about by the government and being treated by the government, these civilians, they think that there won't be any consequences for their actions. And of course, when we're talking about people who are most at risk, we're talking about black women, we're talking about trans black women, and you see it in that St. Petersburg McDonald's situation. People feel like they can do whatever the hell they want to a black woman, and it won't matter. And that's essentially where this shit is coming from. They're getting riled the fuck up with their racist asses. I mean, even people who are a part of the black community but contribute to oppression. I mean, even so far as this R. Kelly situation, there are people who are defending this man, and they will continue to defend him even after this documentary comes out. They don't care what they have to do to continue to maintain whatever type of oppressive power that they have established. They're gonna fucking do it, okay? And if black women have to pay the price of that shit, that they really don't care. And that's, to me, the problem. You have these black women and other marginalized groups within marginalized groups paying the price for other people wanting to step on other people's necks. They're paying a price for other people wanting to establish a system, like a hierarchy system within their community. Meanwhile, within their marginalized community, white supremacy is doing the same shit to the community as a whole. So instead of going in there and uprooting all the bullshit and joining together and fighting the powers that be, we want to just reestablish what's been going on. We just want to reestablish what the majority did to us so we can feel like we have some type of power. And that, it doesn't make any sense to me. We even had Aaliyah's mom come in here giving this, I mean, let me make sure I pull it up, because she released a statement talking about the woman and so-called backup singer in the forthcoming Surviving documentary that describes seeing or meeting or ever breathing the same air as my daughter Aaliyah is lying and is a liar. And my husband and I were always on tour with her and at interviews and every place she went throughout her entire career. And this is what a lot of people within our own community, and even women do it, who have internalized some of the ridiculous mentalities. And it's like, nobody's trying to mess up your daughter's legacy. We're trying to uproot all of the problems and all of the abuse that is circling within our community. We're trying to make sure that black women in the future don't have to deal with as much bullshit as they had to in the past. And of course, you can read her statement further. She said much more than that. But it was just it came off very defensive. It came off very like, oh, well, girl, y'all might try to tear us down, but girl, we ain't we're not talking about that. Like, R. Kelly obviously has been doing a bunch of dumb shit. We're trying to make sure that everyone knows about it. We're trying to make sure that he's held accountable. That's it, okay? And there are obvious court documents that state that he was married to a 15-year-old Aaliyah. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, so people would rather hide the abuses in our communities. They would rather hide the violence against black women, because I guess they don't see them as people worthy of human decency. And so that has to change, because the more that people view black women as expendable, they're going to continue to be attacked and victimized. And years ago, there was a journalist, his name is Jim DeRogatis, I think. He was talking about what Aaliyah's mother had apparently said to him, and while she was crying on his shoulder, apparently. This is what the journalist said: "I had Aaliyah's mother cry on my shoulder and say her daughter's life was ruined. Aaliyah's life was never the same after that. That's not an experience you've had. I'm not expecting you to feel the same way I do, but you can look at this body of evidence." You meaning everyone who cares. So it's contradicting, defensive ass statements that are swirling around, instead of us just like, we need to sit down and solve these problems. There are people getting shot the fuck up. I don't know why this white man at St. Petersburg thought that he had the authority to just grab some black woman. I don't care what she said to you. You know, y'all always have this fucking stupid ass, "Oh, well, she got an attitude." That don't mean that your ass needs to put your hands on that woman, okay? And I promise you, if the roles were reversed, if a black person came up in there and was just grabbing on some white employee, they would have beat that nigga to the ground, pinned him down, and made sure that he stayed there until the police came there, okay? Meanwhile, even during this altercation, they were still trying to take this white man order. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it's obviously a sense of entitlement, privilege, and it is deadly. And that's why people always try to make sure to speak up about it, because the more that these people think that they own the fucking whole world, and the more that they think that you know, minorities are nothing more than somebody's footstool, the less they're going to view them as humans worthy of any type of respect. So that's what I want to change. I wish that it could change in one night, but I think that it has been festering for so many centuries. And as much as we are in you know, a better place than we were when it comes to certain laws and shit years ago, there's so much more that needs to be done. It will have to be people's minds literally revamping, changing, reformatting. People have to stop passing down their racist beliefs and ideas to their kids and shit. I think that's going to be one of the most difficult things that this country has ever faced, because racism keeps a lot of things going. White privilege keeps a lot of things in their favor, and so they're scared to lose any type of power, and they think that sharing power is having none at all. I feel like you have to really have a different type of brain structure to view people who are minding their own business as animals just because of their dark ass skin. Like, I don't understand it, but every time some of these stories come out, like, I always fear for, you know, everyone around me, of course, but I really fear for my mother and my sister, because I know how these people are so crazy. And that's why I try to talk about it as much as I can, because I don't want to be one of those people who wait until it's one of my family members that's in the headlines, you know, one of my close relatives that's in the headlines before, you know, speaking about this shit. And life is funny. Life is so funny that you'll never know what happened. So, like, the more we can educate ourselves and make ourselves more aware of what's going on and try and change our communities, especially some of the bigotry that is within our black community, we need to undo it, because we're not only facing bigotry from within our communities, we're facing it from the people who actually, you know, got the power in this country. And so we don't need to be fighting each other. Also, that don't make no sense to me. I think it's time for us to get rid of the mentalities that had us hiding out, to get rid of the mentalities that had us ostracized from white ass society. Stop bringing that shit into, you know, black culture, black gay culture. Leave that shit alone, because they're coming, and we have to be prepared. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Tell me what you think in the comments, and you can have a good goddamn evening.